check the mic? Prabhu. Padan Prabhu, can you check the mic?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I think is the sound
Maybe a little louder. Yeah.
okay.
That's good. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we will begin with the Bhagavad Gita evening class. So today we are going to be doing chapter 11, verse 35. And we are going to be discussing a form of Krishna on the eve of his birthday. So let's begin with a short kirtan, and please do join me. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गोकुलनंद राधा गोकुलनंद श्री राधे जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल श्री राधा गोकुलानंद भगवान की सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी की प्रभुपाद की हरि हरि बोल Hare Krishna everyone. Welcome to the evening Gita class on this very auspicious time. You can see there's so much of energy, so much of positive energy and vibrations going on. And today we are actually going to be discussing a form of Krishna that we do not normally think about. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and meditate on the name of the Lord. And think of his personal form. And pay your obeisances to him. You can open your eyes now. And would you like to say, what form of Krishna did come to your mind? Gokulananda? All of you all? Okay. So we are going to actually today talk a little bit more about the universal form of Krishna. And this will be through chapter 11, verse 35. So let's do the invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All right. So we will read the Sanskrit and then we'll read word by word translation and then we have a discussion. So you can repeat after me. Sanjaya uvacha eva shrutva vachanam kevashasya etar shrutva vachanam keshavasya kritanjalirvepamana kiriti namaskritva bhuya evaha krishnam samadgatam bhita bhita pranamya Sanjaya uvacha etar shrutva vachanam keshavasya kritanjalirvepamana kiriti Kritanjalirvepamana kiriti namaskritva bhuya evaha krishnam samadgatam bhita bhita pranamya. So now we'll read the word by word translation. So please do join me. I think this is too far. Sanjay uvacha. Sanjay said, Etat, thus, Shrutva, hearing, Vachanam, the speech, Keshavasya, of Krishna, Krita Anjalihi, with folded hands, Vepamanaha, trembling, Kriti, Arjuna, Namaskritva, offering obeisances, Bhuyaha, again, Eva, also, Aha, said, Krishnam, unto Krishna, Sagadgatam, with a faltering voice, Bita Bitaha, fearful, Pranamya, offering obeisances. Thank you. So now I'll read the translation. Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. One more time. Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Urmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. There are two turning points in the Bhagavad Gita in terms of the relationship between Arjuna and Krishna. Do we know which are those two instances? Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. So that's the second chapter. So that's verse, I think, 2:7, where he says, "Please accept me as your disciple, and I will follow your instructions." Now, this is quite interesting because this is where Arjuna and Krishna were very dear friends, and of course, you know that they were cousins as well. And when the Bhagavad Gita starts, it starts off with like Arjuna's dilemma, where he's asking a lot of questions. But how do you really solve your spiritual doubts? You solve your spiritual doubts by surrendering, by accepting a guru. So in the second chapter, right at the start, Arjuna accepts Krishna as his guru. And then and then it continues till verse 4, where like Krishna also says, tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upedekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshinaha. So if I have to really learn something, if I have to really learn the truth, then I need to accept a spiritual master, because the spiritual master has seen the truth. And so that's the first, a time when there is a turning point. The second turning point happens around this stage in the Universal Form, chapter 11. And at this point of time, Krishna is as his guru. And in the early part of this particular chapter, which is called the Universal Form, Arjuna wants to see Krishna in the Universal Form. And for the first time, Arjuna has the blessing of seeing the universal form exactly as it is. In its full form. There have been some previous instances where Krishna has shown some parts of his universal form. Do we know when? Prior to this. Yes, indeed. Not very fast. So this is when, we are still hoping, the Pandavas were still hoping that there is a peaceful solution to the problem. And so Krishna goes as a messenger on behalf of the Pandavas. And he goes and, where Duryodhana and everyone was there, Dhritarashtra was there, he actually, tries to, bring peace, saying that we don't really need to fight this war. And obviously Duryodhana and many others, they don't really, pay any heed to him. And they almost are on the verge of arresting him when Krishna shows a partial form. And when he sees the partial form, what happens? Everyone gets terrified. And everyone gets terrified, because of this form. And it's not even, the full universal form. It's only part of it. And then Dhritarashtra, who cannot see, when he hears what's happening, then he asks, Krishna, please let me see you. So Krishna gives him the Divya Drishti at that point of time, and then he's able to see. But there have been some other instances as well, in a positive way. Yashodamaya. So once, if you look at Canto 10, there is a time when like Krishna is a young child and he yawns beautifully, and when he yawns, like Mother Yashoda is able to see the planets, the stars, the earth, everything. And then there is also a time when just after that he eats mud, and then Yashoda Mother asks, chides him, saying, have you really eaten mud? And then he says, no, I've not eaten mud. And then open your mouth, she says, and then he opens his mouth, and then you can again see, the universe. So again, that's also a universal form, but it's a partial one. So the first time and the only time when Krishna really shows his full universal form is to Arjuna. Now, the question is, what is the purpose of doing that? Why did he do it? To establish that he is Swayam Bhagwan. So it was less for Arjuna's benefit, and it was more for the benefit of the less intelligent classes like us, who have been coming from generation to generation, because we think of Krishna as being a mystical figure, maybe a historical figure, but we don't really think of him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And you do know that there are lots of God men, so-called God men, who say that like I'm God, I'm Swayam Bhagavan, I'm divinity, and this is really to say that they don't really have my powers. Can they really show a universal form? So that's why he does this. So in this particular verse, Arjuna is really petrified, because he actually has seen the universal form, and he's really having a very faltering, voice, because he doesn't really know what to make of it. He has always seen Krishna as a dear friend, and to see him in the universal form is something that's very, very, disturbing him. And just to give some examples of, how of what he looks like. So there are a few passages which I'll just read out, not all of them, but really some of them. So Arjuna saw in the universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments and many divine scents, all smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, and expanding. So you can see that there has been a lot of, his form really is quite terrible, and Arjuna has really seen this. And here in this particular passage, he speaks about what the Supreme Personality of Godhead has said just before this. So Arjuna asks this question: who are you? What is this universal form? And what is the purpose of this universal form? So what does Krishna say? Who is he in this universal form? And what does what is the purpose of this universal form? So he's a supreme, and in text 32, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, in this form, time I am time, and the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. So this is where, so the universal form, Krishna says, is that the universal form is nothing but time, and the purpose of the universal form is to really destroy all the worlds. So it's good to think of, maybe just to have some example of, how temporary our world is. So what do you think is the average span of a human life? Now, 80 years probably. And in fact, very recently, we did hear in the news that, there was one oldest living woman. I think her name was, let me just pick up. I think it's Kane Tanaka. So she was living in the US. So she lived for 119 years. And she just passed away early this year. So you can probably live till 119, but then that's really an exception. So mostly 80 is the average. And if you look at 80 years, then how much would that translate into in terms of the number of days? 29,200 days to be precise. And if we think, and within that, if we, delete, if we omit the ones where we are, suppose we're sleeping for 8 hours, so then how many hours do we really live? About 90, 2/3. So it's around 19,000 or 20,000 days. Now, during this time, think of how do we really use this particular time? How do we use our time, this 29,200 days or 19,000? How do we really use our time? Where do we spend most of our energies on? We spend it mostly on work, we spend it on studies, we spend it on entertainment, traveling to places, following our arts. How much of time, you don't have to answer me, but then ask yourself, how much of your time do you really invest in trying to know more about God, trying to, follow some of the spiritual activities? Just something to really think about. And let me take another example. So how many of us have, seen the white, cliffs of Dover in England? Beautiful, beautiful cliffs. You have the Seven Sisters, you can also have a walk. So how many of us know that, till the mid 1800s, the cliffs were eroding at 2 centimeter per annum? And over the last 150 years, that has increased to 8 to 12 inches per annum, which is almost a foot. And a foot is quite a lot, actually. You may not be able to see that on a day-to-day basis, but then if you really look at it on an annual basis, it becomes almost a foot. So it's receding. And that's, again, a manifestation of how temporary this particular world is. And we try to keep ourselves, we try to really attach ourselves to this particular world, but it's really temporary. And what Krishna says here is that I'm time, and I'm going to be really destroying this entire universe. So in which yuga are we now? We are in the Kali Yuga. So how many years is it? How many years is the Kali Yuga? 432,000 years. So we are just about 5,000 years into Kali Yuga. So we still have a lot to go. And what's going to happen at the end of this, after 432,000 years, is that the entire universe is going to be annihilated. And then there's going to be a new universe that's going to be created. So that's really what Krishna says to this universal form, that this world is very, very temporary. And I'm going to destroy all of this. It's just a matter of time before I really destroy. And it's quite important that what we do with our, we have to be very careful about what we do with the time that we have. What does not get destroyed by this? So Krishna says that, he destroys everything in the material world. So what does not get destroyed? What doesn't get destroyed? It's the spiritual beings. It's our souls. So we as souls, because we are eternal, part and parcel of Krishna, and we have really forgotten that in this material world. But the souls will continue to remain. So they cannot be annihilated. So they will move on from one, lifetime to another lifetime. And then even after the material world gets completely annihilated, you still actually move to, you still are there. And that's when you can really perform loving service of Krishna. But the question is, how many of us really want to do that? None of us want to, right? Because we all have our material interests. We love going on holidays. We like to watch movies. We like to, go for parties. That's really how we want to spend our time. And we also spend our time on so much of endeavors. And, we want to really, have a very fat bank balance. We want to have a very big house. We want to have fame. We want to have become a CEO of companies. But all of that is really, we are putting our efforts into things which are really not going to stay with us. So because Krishna says that as time, I'm going to destroy all of that. So at the end of your life, it doesn't really matter when you're on your, when you're going to pass away, there's very little that you really can take back with you. So why are you really spending your time doing that? And so what Krishna says in the next verse, which is also which is verse 33, is that he says, "Therefore get up, Prepare to fight with and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, Sanyasachi, can just be an instrument in the fight. And this is where Krishna says that you are only an instrument. Now let's really think of our own lives, and we keep doing many things, many activities. How often do we think that we are the doer? All the time, isn't it? So I get up in the morning, I perform my morning ablutions, I go to work, I earn money, I get my promotion, I buy a home, I get promoted to a vice president, I go on a holiday. So there's a lot of I, and it always feels as if we are the doers. But are we really the doers? Are we really? No, we are not. Because everything happens as per Krishna's plan. So today, if you look at science really says that the Big Bang Theory happened randomly. But does nature work by chance? Not really, isn't it? Because everything has a plan. Now, even if you have a Big Bang Theory, and even if there was no universe and there was that speck, and then the entire universe was created. But today, just look at the universe. Look at the laws of the universe. There are so many planets. There's so much of space, and in between space, you have the planets, you have the stars. The planets have got moons, and then they're all rotating around orbits. But then, do they really clash with each other? They don't. Because there is this beautiful equilibrium, there is this beautiful science, that's going behind how all the planets and the stars, everything stays in orbit, and everything has their space. And even look at nature itself. Do we see dolphins living in land? We don't see dolphins living on land because they live in water. And then similarly, elephants don't live in the oceans; they live on land. Human beings, we are amphibious. We try our best to enjoy our time in water as well, in the beaches, etc. So everything has got a certain plan, and that's all the plan is is what Krishna has done. But we think that we are the lords, so we try to rule over this material world. We become the proprietors. We think this house is mine. We build bridges. We build skyscrapers, and we think that we are the lord of the universe. But are we really the lord of the universe? We are not, isn't it? And so we live in this false delusion, and that delusion makes us take actions which are not very right. And one of the delusions that happens is, we stop doing our duties. So Krishna says in this particular passage that, in this particular verse, that do your prescribed duty. Do not get up and fight. Do not really worry about killing your relatives because they are dead anyway by my arrangement. So when Arjuna sees that universal form, and why he's faltering is because he sees everyone dying. He sees everyone dead. He sees his teacher, his grandfather, his cousins, everyone dead. So that's when the true potency of Krishna's plans really strikes him, and that's why he really falters, because he gets so overwhelmed that he really doesn't know what to do with it. Because it's very difficult to have that information, right? What happens if we know exactly what's going to happen in our lives? Is that really going to be a nice thing? When you know everything is going to happen, when you know that this particular calamity is going to befall me, then how do you really have peace of mind? You can't. And that's what Arjuna is in this particular one. And that's where Krishna also goes on to say that Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, and Karna, and all the other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. And those were the words that Arjuna heard before he came to this particular verse. And what happens later on in chapter 12, in chapter 11, is that he really speaks a lot about, and he just is so overwhelmed, and he's so full of love for Krishna. And then he tells, I like to see you in your four-armed one, and that's when Krishna comes in four-armed, and then he comes in his role as a charioteer, which is a form that we normally see him so much. So that really is what this particular passage talks about. So what do we really learn from the universal form? What do we really learn? What does it mean for us in our lives? When Krishna says that he's time, when Krishna says that he's the destroyer of the worlds, and when Krishna says that follow my instructions and fight, what does it mean to us? Abs- ab- Absolutely. So time is very, very precious. And we have a choice to fritter away our time in a lot of material activities. And we want to enjoy the world, we want to do all those kind of things. The other option is to say that I want to really use my time to really come closer to Krishna. And then what really seems to be the most logical thing to do? To actually perform those activities, right? But then we never really, do that as much. And but as we come very closer to celebrating Krishna's birthday, which is going to be in the next couple of days, and we have a festival tomorrow as well, which I hope all of you do join in. It'll be good to really just reflect on our own lives, see where we are today, and we all have, we all come from different backgrounds. We have been through lots of, ups and downs in life. So reflect on those moments and then really see what is it that I can do to really come closer to Krishna. So during Janmashtami, during the next few days, really have that contemplation. Do seriously pray to Krishna and say, I really, really want to come closer to you. So please, make the path clear for me. Please remove all the obstacles that really would potentially come my way, and then really help me come closer to you. So that's really that's the best prayer that we can really have, as we approach and celebrate Janmashtami. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Any reflections? Any questions? Do you have a question?
What do you mean by we are just instrument?
Okay, that's a very good. That's very good. Okay. How are we instruments? Well, let me try to think of putting it in a way that might work for you. Okay. Okay. Let's look at it like this. So what are you studying now? Which year are you in? You're going to year 3, okay. And do you spend a lot of time studying? Do you study a lot? Yeah, you do study a lot, right? Okay, and you do study a lot, and then which is good, and then you also get some results at the end of the year as well. So studying is something that you can do. But can you really control what results you get?
You don't know what results you get, but you can do your best. You can try and do your best. But what Mrs. Boyd is going to give you, or Mrs. Morris, you don't know what she's going to give you. But you have to try to.
Yeah, you have to try to do that. So here what's happening is that you are an instrument, as in you're studying, and you're making all your sincere endeavors to study. However, you don't have complete control on what is the results you get. So you could get very good marks. You may also not get very good marks. So everything happens as per Krishna's plan. So what we are is we are his servants, and we do our best. But then he's the person who's actually dictating everything that's going on. The fact that you are here also means that he has chosen to see you. And that's how, so it's not that you have come to the temple, he has called you to see you. And that's so, I mean, we have to be grateful for that, right? Because it's so good to be here on this very auspicious day and, take his blessings. Because we are going to have, arti in the next few minutes. So, does it answer your question? Okay, welcome. Any other reflections? Yes. Yes. Yeah. So we did cover that earlier, but I can actually just repeat it. Um, so what Prabhupada says in one of the purports in Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna did not do it only for the benefit of Arjuna, because Arjuna was already a dear devotee and he has already submitted himself, as a and has really accepted Krishna as the as his guru in chapter 2 itself. But this is really for all the all the unintelligent people like all of us, because we are nowhere close to Krishna in terms of our bhakti and love for God and love for Krishna. So it is a message that he wanted to give not only to people who were not only to both the armies of Kurukshetra, but also to to people in generations like us. I mean, we are listening to this today, to really understand who really Krishna is, because many of us, we think of Krishna as being maybe a historical figure, who's got some great mystical powers, or even many of us don't even believe that he has walked this particular planet. But we don't really understand that he is the supreme personality of Godhead, and everything in this particular world happens as per his plan. So this is really also in a way to let the unintelligent people know that there are many people who say that they are divine, who say that they are gods, but they are really not gods. So if you have to look at in India there are lots of these god men who say that I've got a lot of mystical powers and I can do many things, I'm God. And then what they do is they get a lot of followers, and the followers really give them a lot of wealth and fame, etc. So what Krishna says is, please do not believe them, because they are not really going to take you to the path of God. And by showing this particular universal form, he's telling that I'm the supreme personality of Godhead. So please come to me. Don't go to any other people who say that they are that they are God, but they really are not. So it's just a way for him to say how powerful it is, and it's also for him to demonstrate how truly powerful he is. So there's no one who can be more powerful than him in this world, either the material world or the spiritual world. So it's a caution for us. Exactly. So yes, that pastime is so special, because when Yashoda Ma asks him to open his mouth, he says, "No, I've not eaten any clay." And then when she opens, when she sees the entire world. So that is a partial universal form. It's not the full universal form. The full universal form is what Krishna shows to Arjuna in the just before the battle of Kurukshetra. And that's the only time that's happened. So, and today we are just just benefiting from that, just that particular knowledge. And again, this entire pastime of the universal form should allow us to reflect on what is it that we are doing with our lives today, and how can we really make the right choices so that we can come closer to Krishna. Any other questions? Or what we do is we do a short kirtan, and just as we prepare for the arti. So please do join me. You can close your eyes and deeply meditate on the form of Krishna that most appeals to you. So this could be a form of Krishna who is Bala Gopal. It could be a mischievous boy in Gokul who is stealing the butter from the gopis. It can be the cowherd boy, the beautiful cowherd boy who does the Ras Leela with the gopis in Vraja. You can see him in the form of a charioteer for Arjuna, and saying and having the divine conversation with Arjuna. That's called the Bhagavad Gita. You can see him in any form. Let's really pray to him, saying that on this auspicious occasion, please bless us so that we can come closer to you. Remove all obstacles that we have and make the path towards you easier, so that our hearts so that our bhakti increases in strength, and it really sustains us during our lifetimes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. With all your heart, one more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So do have a blissful Janmashtami and do join us for the celebrations tomorrow and the day after. We'd love to see you there. Hari Bol.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah. Jaya Ho Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Gokula Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Gauranitai Yeah, sure. He's our friend. Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai I give the plate for Jaya. Nitai Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Jai Shri Shri Radha Gopalakrishna Bhagavan Ki Sita Rama Bhagavan Ki Shri Shri Nitai Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Sai Gopalakrishna Ki So Hare Krishna, so we'll be singing Gaurarti. Please follow the board if you can. Keba Jayo Jayo Gaura Chande Arati ko soba Keba Jayo Jayo Gaura Chande Arati ko soba Keba Jayo Jayo Gaura Chande Arati ko soba Jayo Gaura Chande Arati ko soba Jana Tatamane Jagamana Loba Jana Tatamane Jaga Loba Jana Tatamane Jaga Jagamana Bhadate Nitai Chan Bhamegada Dharadake Nitai Chan Bhamegada Dharadake Tai Chan Ba Me Ga Da Da Ra Da Ke Tai Chan Ba Me Ga Da Da Ra Ni Ka Advaita Sini Vasa Chatra Dhara Nika Advaita Sini Vasa Chatra Dhara Nika Advaita Sini Vasa Chatra Dhara Nika Advaita Sini Vasa Chatra Dhara Bose Ache Gaura Chan Ratna Sima Sane Bose Ache Gaura Chan Ratna Sima Sane Bose Gaura Chan Ratna Sima Sane Bose Gaura Chan Ratna Sima Arati Korina Brahma Adi Deva Gane Arati Korina Brahma Adi Deva Gane Arati Korina Brahma Adi Deva Gane Arati Korina Brahma Adi Deva Adi Naro Adi Kore Chamaradu Laya 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 Sanjaya Mukunda Kosade Gaya Sanja Yamukunda Vasu Kosade Gaya Sanja Yamukunda Vasu Kosade Gaya Sanja Yamukunda Vasu Gosadega Jaya Sankho Bade Ganta Bade Bade Kara Tala